Thanks so much for watching AM Northwest today. You know, when life's everyday aches and pains get in the way, our next guest has a way to accelerate the healing. Here to show us, we welcome back certified Pranic Healing Instructor and practitioner, Liza Burney. Good to have you back with us.
Nice to see you, Helen.
This is an idea that really could help a lot of people. I mean, we're not saying don't do first aid.
Of course.
Yeah, we're saying do that, but this is something that you say that can help with the pain.
That you can do in addition to the first aid. So this technique, the Pranic Healing Local Sweeping Practice, is an energy healing process that's your go-to technique for anything that life is going to throw at you in that category. So moms with small kids experiencing aches, pains, burns, including sunburns, athletes with sore muscles, strain, sprain, especially athletics of high speed like skiing, cycling, equestrian, where there's a tendency and a possibility of falling down and hitting your head.
Right.
Even doctors and nurses in hospitals and emergency rooms are using this technique to, as in addition to the Western medicine practice for things like stopping bleeding. Basically, anybody who has a body can benefit from this practice. Although actually, having said that, even people who are missing parts of their body can benefit from this. Because of that situation, maybe you've heard, it's called phantom limb syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's where people who are amputees are still feeling pain where their body used to be.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
Now, can you show us how it works?
Sure.
Okay.
It's based on this principle, right? That we have a physical body and an energy body. And the concept is that wherever there's an injury, say a burn or a sprain or a strain, the energy in that area is out of balance or stuck. So it's like if you had a piece of lint on your clothing, right? You would go and just brush it off and then throw it in the garbage can. Same thing energetically. It's like virtual or energetic lint. There's a disturbance in the energy body, and this practice of using the energy of your hand smooths that energy disturbance out, because when the energy is out of balance, it informs how quickly the physical body can heal. So when we smooth the energy and clear it out, the physical body can heal faster.
You want to show me how you do it?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's say a situation that came up for me a little while ago where I slammed my fingers in the car door.
Ow!
Now we know how much that hurts, right? Seriously hurts. But I took the time and invested in my self-care by doing this technique right away.
Okay.
So what we need is a couple of things, right? Because we need an energy garbage can to dispose.
You actually have a garbage can.
So we have a little bucket. It's a disposable bucket. Please don't use a beautiful kitchen bowl.
Okay.
And we have it with some water in it, and then we're going to put some table salt in it.
And why not a beautiful bowl?
Because you don't want to use this for
bad energy.
You don't want to use this for cooking or eating out of.
Oh,
it's like an energy toilet.
Oh, okay.
Right? So
interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's where this goes when we're done with it, into the toilet. So when I smashed my fingers in the car door, the technique was basically to recognize that the energy in this area was stuck or disturbed. And so taking the energy of the other hand and just smoothing that energy out and then into the bucket. Okay.
What did you put in the bucket?
So it's water and table salt.
And table salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when this situation happened to me, I spent almost 2 minutes doing this because I had my watch on, right? And I was timing it. So I'm just doing this practice, smoothing the energy out, local sweeping of this affected area and into the bucket. And after about 2 minutes, the pain went from like 10 to 0.
Wow.
And I was actually able to do the rest of my day without any awareness that anything had happened to my fingers.
Let's say you have like people in our office often get migraine headaches.
Yes.
And how would you suggest they get rid of that pain?
Sure. So a headache is basically doing local sweeping, and you can use both hands all over the head area.
So
the concept with this local sweeping,
you can go in this direction.
So you want to go from top to bottom, and you want to go from center line out, right? So when we did the hands, it was off the edge of the hand, right? So the head, you're going to start above, and you're going to sweep through the back, right? And into the bucket. Then you can do the sides. and then you can do the front.
And you
or
don't need to say anything. It's all just this motion.
You don't need to say a thing. You don't need to visualize anything. You don't need to believe anything, because this is happening whether
You don't need to believe anything.
Nope.
Okay, and then what about arthritis for folks that have arthritis in different places?
Sure.
Does it work that way as well?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Arthritis usually requires a little bit more than just this technique, because it's more in the first aid category of technique. But if someone were to fall down and hit their knee, like a couple I was hiking with on Mount Hood, their 10-year-old daughter fell and really hurt her knee to the point where she said she was not able to walk.
Right.
And she was too heavy to carry. So it was a little bit of a situation. So I just sat her down on the path and did the local sweeping on her knee. So did the front of the knee into the bucket, did the side of the knee, did the back of the knee.
So let's say you don't have access to a bucket.
So then you just visualize a hole in the ground,
Okay.
right? Because I didn't travel with my
Right.
bucket to Mount Hood, of course. So you just visualize a hole in the ground, and that's a traditional technique for disposing of energy.
Can you do that with, let's say, lower back pain as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And it's just the same thing. You would just
It's the same
spread
thing.
it out.
So,
I
you know, if I were to work on your lower back,
Right.
I would just be sweeping my hand down that area. Now, the interesting thing is that when people do this, they may notice they have some sensitivity in their hand. So the affected area may feel a little thicker as you're running your hand through the energy, or you might actually feel like you're bumping up against something. And so that's just an opportunity to work a little bit more in that specific area.
And how long would you say the pain disappears for instance?
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
You know, my
It could come back.
situation, 2 minutes, right?
Right.
Because I got to it right away, and immediacy is really important.
Wow.
And it was a small injury, something like a head injury. So somebody who's doing a sport and they fall and hit their head, even if they have a helmet on, right? Traumatic brain injury is a possibility.
Yeah.
So and I've worked with people with head injuries in that situations, concussions, and you could do that for 30 minutes
Might take a while
on and
longer.
off, 10 minutes on and then take
Gotcha.
a break. So the real answer is when they start feeling relief.
Okay. Thank you so much, Liza. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank